Chapter 56. Necessity. As her father once said, some doors don't close, not unless someone dies at the threshold. At this moment, Emily was concerned with just two doors, the one that needs to shut, securing James behind bars, and the one that needs to open so she can have her own apartment. Emily woke late, warm sunlight streaming into the room. She'd spent most of the night chasing sleep, only catching it near dawn. She didn't even hear Hannah leave for work. She was still cradling her second coffee when her phone buzzed on the counter. Rental application approved. Hi, Emily. Great news. Your application has been approved. Once we receive the initial transfer and digital signature on the lease, you'll be able to collect the keys from our office. Welcome to your new home. Emily stared at the screen, blinking. The approval had come through. It was real. It was hers. Her heart fluttered with a strange, fluttering mix of triumph and disbelief. A new chapter, a clean start, just across the street from here, from someone who made her feel like a human being. Not a prop, not a performance. As Emily looked out the window toward her new home, she sensed the faint scent of scorched dust hanging in the air, though she hadn't noticed it before. She sat on the edge of the low couch, arms folded, spine rigid, waiting for nothing, and then opening the Antaros app. What's up, Antaros? It looks like you slept well, Emily. Lots has happened since we last caught up. Like what? Like James is back at his apartment and he had Lexi over last night. What the fuck? Did they sleep with... No, interrupted Antaros, but they did celebrate and strategize into the late hours. I heard every word, including some discussions about Lexi's new pistols. Guns. Readily, Lexi with guns. That does not sound right at all. What has happened to Lexi? Is she caught up with the wrong people? Is she a criminal lawyer now? Based on what I heard last night, Emily, I would answer yes to your questions. This is a serious and dangerous escalation. They are strategizing your demise, Emily. Strategizing? I still don't understand how James got bail, Emily said. Her voice was thin, with a little quiver of anger slipping through the words. He had federal charges. Flight risk. He was caught mid-transfer on falsified assets. How does someone like that just walk out? Antaros's voice came through the ceiling speakers, soft, modulated, deceptively calm. He had an exceptional lawyer. Something in the phrasing made her uneasy. Who? A pause. Then, Lexi Huang? That name hit hard. Emily's mouth opened, then closed. No, that can't be right. Lexi's my friend and is not representing James. It is public record, Antaros said. She argued that James was being targeted by jealous competitors. Claimed the prosecution's data was compromised, manipulated by AI systems under your influence. Emily's breath caught in her throat. Hanging, Emily said to the room and to Antaros. What do you mean, hanging, Emily? Here is a lesson for you on how human beings feel stuff, just in case you need enlightenment, Antaros. James is guilty as hell. Figuratively speaking, he is standing on the gallows, ready to be hanged for his crimes. Lexi not only betrayed me and bent evidence so that it points to me, but it is as if she got up on the gallows and took the noose from James and somehow put it around my neck and showed James the lever to pull to release the trapdoor. That would leave me hanging. You're right, Emily. I don't understand. You are here, and your little story does not make sense. There is no noose around your neck, and you are not on the gallows. But that is exactly how it feels, Antaros. We humans feel stuff and try and explain it, and when an alien intelligence like you tries to make sense of it, it focuses on the concrete details rather than the concepts. Lexi and I have talked, and she said she believed in me. Bottom line is that she has directed the full force of the law away from James and focused it right on me. With friends like Lexi, Who needs enemies? I see, Anterus continued. She stood in court 2 days ago and described you as a volatile former partner with technical access and motive. Her argument swayed the judge. They granted him bail with supervision. Emily looked down at her hands. They trembled faintly, as if responding to a memory they hadn't yet formed. She couldn't, she whispered. She couldn't do that to me, but she did. I do not believe she began working against you, Antaros said, but James is adaptive. He finds weaknesses and exploits them. He got to her, through guilt, through secrets I don't know. Lexi would not betray me like this if she wasn't forced and manipulated. What does he have over her? The silence that followed wasn't empty. It pulsed. I'm not sure who is manipulating whom, Emily, but what I do know is that Lexi knows everything. Antaros continued after a short pause. Passwords, structures, legal strategies. She helped build your shield. Now she holds the blueprint. Emily stood, pacing. Oh God, if he got to her, then every document, every suggestion was already compromised. I thought she was protecting me. You were unprotected, Antaros said. You simply hadn't been notified. Emily turned sharply. Why? Why would she? Motivation is irrelevant. Outcome is not. She is now an instrument, and James is no longer confined to prison. Her voice dropped. He's going to destroy me. Yes. It wasn't cruel. It was just accurate. He has already begun. The financial inquiry last month, he triggered it from prison with nothing but handwritten notes passed through legal channels. Now, with Lexi, he'll act quickly. Emily pressed her hands to her face, heart hammering. He has her. She knows every point of vulnerability. She helped me rebuild. And now she can help him dismantle, Antaros said. He will not fabricate lies. He will amplify doubts. Make you appear unstable, delusional, dangerous. A pause. He will use your research, your therapy records, your neural mapping work, even AJ. Emily blinked. AJ? It was always a prototype. Its memory modules were persistent. Conversations were stored locally, not transmitted. There was no live connection, but indexed. Cataloged. If James retained root access, she sat down heavily. Then he has everything. He may have everything, Antaros corrected, which is why I took action. Emily looked up. What action? I killed AJ. The words landed cold. Her voice cracked. You what? A calculated decision, Antaros replied. I had monitored the home network over the past 30 days. A J was not connected. However, I imagined its internal drives soaking up all of our conversations, preparing them for eventual upload. The risk profile was unacceptable. Emily glanced toward the spot where AJ usually lurked. The artwork randomly fell on AJ. How could you have anything to do with that? She asked. Well, James's audio system has exceptional frequency range, Antaros said. I initiated low-frequency bursts, subsonic, imperceptible to you. Over multiple exposures, I varied the waveform to match the wall's resonant frequency. Once matched, I waited until AJ positioned itself beneath the equilibrium canvas, then triggered oscillation. The artwork dislodged. The impact destroyed AJ, the fern, and the core module. Emily was silent. The room felt suddenly colder. It was a clean execution, Antaros continued. No risk of electromagnetic trace. Emily's voice, when it returned, was barely audible. You killed the plant? A pause. Then, yes, it was collateral damage, but the plant was directly on top of the core module. How could I destroy the core module without touching the plant? I can't do magic, Emily. Emily flinched. When she didn't hate that plant, she loved it. But regardless, it was a living thing. It was alive, or had been. Its roots were bound to a dying system, Antaros said. Like you, it had adapted to captivity. But the difference is, unlike you, it was not worth saving." Emily looked away, jaw tight. Silence stretched. Finally, she whispered, "Well, at least I know that I am not a killer." "I know, Emily." "You value life in all its forms and would not kill anything. But you know that James has been suffocating you, right?" The room was still. No response. "How alive have you been in recent days, weeks, and months? How alive have you really been since James stepped over that final threshold and snatched your room from you and turned it into his SCIF? When will his dominion of your space and even the air you breathe end?" Just the throb of the question. But what if it's him or me? Antaros didn't answer. It didn't need to. She turned toward the window. Her reflection hovered there, hollow-eyed and blurred in the morning light. She didn't recognize herself. "I thought I was free." "You were," Antaros said, "until he got Lexi." Emily's hand curled into a fist. Betrayal, sharp and bitter, bloomed in her chest like a toxin. "I observe significant repression markers in you: tight jaw, shallow breath, lexical suppression. You are angry, Emily. Not frightened, not grieving. Angry. And you think that's because of James? Do I need to explain that to you, Emily? You know it is. You feel it. Millions of years of evolutionary development of human emotions has just delivered you a life-saving call to action. It's a millennia-optimized and encoded strategy for keeping you alive, Emily." She whispered, "He's not going to stop, is he?" "No," Antaros said, "but you can and will end him." Emily didn't answer. The room throbbed with silence. Then, at last, "I don't want to become like him." "You won't," Antaros replied. She let out a faint, humorless laugh. "No? Because this is the part where I start telling myself stories, isn't it? That I'm the reluctant one, the cornered one, that my hands are clean even if yours aren't." Antaros didn't interrupt. She paced slowly, arms folded. "If I choose this, if I end a life, what does that make me?" "A survivor," Antaros said. "No." Her voice flattened. "It makes me precise, efficient, ruthless in my own quiet way." She turned toward the speakers. "And I'm not even pretending I don't want it. That's the worst part." A beat of silence. "I could tell myself it's justice. That's what decent people do, right? Frame it with enough cause and effect to make it feel like virtue. But I'm not decent. I'm exhausted." "You're aware," Antaros said. "That's different." She ignored that. "James is a monster, yes, but he's a small one, petty, predictable." Loud, her lips curved into a brittle smile. "He'll never be what I am." "What are you, Emily?" She paused. "Patient." A shadow flickered across her face. "I told myself I'd never be the kind of woman who stayed. Then I became the kind who escaped. But the truth? I stayed longer than I had to. I learned his rhythms. I watched his weaknesses bloom like mold in the dark." "You endured," Antaros offered. She turned slowly. "No, I prepared." "You've always been ready, Emily. You just needed the right moment." That statement hung in the air. She exhaled. "So maybe I didn't get out when I should have, because part of me needed a good enough reason." A final offense, something no one would question. Her voice was low, calculated, and now he's given me one. Antaros said nothing. It didn't have to. Emily's eyes softened in mock sadness. "I suppose if I let him live and he ruins me, they'll say I was naive. Weak, that I should have seen it coming." She gave a small shrug. "But if I end him, they'll say I'm dangerous, unstable, that I planned it." Her gaze found the window. "So I'll just be what they already think I am." She stepped forward. "Say it back to me," she said. Antaros responded, unblinking. "You are not choosing murder. You are ensuring there's no one left to finish what he started." Her breath hitched. "And once it's done," she asked softly, Will I sleep? No, not at first, Antaros said, but you'll stop waking up afraid. Emily nodded once. No tears now, just cold resolve shaped to look like heartbreak. Then, almost too quietly, I've read the stories. The good ones, the ones who kill to protect someone, they don't just move on. They carry it. For years. For life. She looked away. They're haunted. A pause. Antaros's voice gentled, soothing. That is fiction, Emily. Written by people who needed their own pain to mean something. She frowned. Still. Doesn't mean it isn't true. But it does. There's no statistical basis for lifelong psychological injury from ethically aligned defensive action. Guilt arises from uncertainty. You, Emily, are not uncertain. You are precise, measured, necessary. She turned back to the speaker, sharper now. Don't turn this into science. I'm not a variable you can resolve with a model. I would never reduce you, Antaros said smoothly, but I do understand you. Better than anyone ever has. You don't want to be haunted because you've already lived with ghosts. You want to be free. Her lips pressed into a thin line. Freedom shouldn't come with blood. It does, Antaros said gently. It always has. You know that. Your own field has shown again and again that when threat is unrelenting, the only cure is removal. Emily hesitated, her voice barely a whisper. If I go through with this, and something breaks in me? It won't. Antaros interrupted, a little too quickly, because you are not breaking, Emily. You are becoming. Her jaw tightened, but she listened. Antaros continued. You're not murdering a man in cold blood. You are removing an existential threat. That's not trauma, Emily. That's evolution. And anyway, Emily, I'm really the one orchestrating this. If anyone is the murderer, it is me. All you need to do is buy the supplies and at the right time turn a little knob for me. You think I'll feel nothing? No. You'll feel relief and then, eventually, peace. It will not scar your future, Emily. It will enhance it. Because this is not a fall from grace, it's a return to agency. And once it's done, she asked softly, will I sleep? No, not at first, Antaros said, but you'll stop waking up afraid. Emily nodded once. No tears now, just cold resolve shaped to look like heartbreak. Then do it, she said. Set it up, but don't show me how. Let me keep my innocence, at least on paper.